Welcome to The Remembering, mastering the unseen to live your soul's truth. We're your hosts. I'm intuitive oracle Jamie Wni.
And I am intuitive energy healer Rachel Thompson. And this is your sacred space to reconnect with your divine essence, explore unseen realms, and remember who you truly are.
Through deep conversations, intuitive wisdom, and energetic healing, we guide you to trust your inner voice, activate your gifts, and master the magic within.
Let's journey home together.
Oh, hey guys, welcome back to The Becoming with Jamie Wni.
And Rachel Thompson. We are so happy that you are joining us for this episode today.
Yes. This is our second episode. Rach, I think it might be The Remembering, isn't it? Oh! I just remembered the title.
Well, that is perfect because our episode today, we're going to flow with it, of course, but
Yes.
It is about authenticity.
Yeah.
And that is authentic. We're not perfect. My camera isn't working. And so I feel like the video on mine isn't ideal. That's authentic. It's my experience. We forgot the name of our podcast because it's only episode 2.
Yep. And you just kind of agreed with it. And I was like, something don't sound right. Oh, it's the whole point.
It is.
It's the whole point. Yeah, man. I've got a ice pack on my back, which you guys can't see, which is all part of it, right? Like what we're moving through, what we're up leveling. So,
what do you think that does? Do you think that's root chakra for you, or what do you feel?
Well, yes, root and sacral. And what's been coming to me is safety, right? So that's like root.
Mm-hmm.
And before I get into this, what Rach and I are wanting to activate with you guys today with this beautiful container is this self-honoring medicine, authenticity medicine. So just kind of what's coming up in our lives. This is not easy. This part where when we notice a wound or a pattern coming up in our lives, they're helping us remember who we are or become who we are. It's a two-way street. And so I noticed a pattern in a relational dynamic where my body was bracing and gripping against this person's agitation and irritation. And it doesn't mean we excuse or say something's right or wrong. You know, we have to use our wisdom. But I understand if I'm not going to be in victim consciousness and I'm going to be in empowered consciousness, I have to look, what role am I playing here? What role am I playing here? And so, you know, I've been doing some healing. My back teaches me a lot, and it went out last week. And I sat with it yesterday and I was like, okay, what's going on here? Had a conversation with this person, said, hey, my back is like gripping when you're irritated, agitated. What was underneath of it for them was boundary issues, their inability to take care of themselves. So they were feeling spread thin. So whenever I asked for the tiniest thing, they got agitated, irritated, I grip. I'm so sick of being, you know, the receiver of their agitation, irritation, etc. Okay. So I get curious and I'm like, now this was humbling, you guys, and this is what I'm inviting you into. I was like, how am I playing a part in this? And I saw within myself, which is hard to look at and hard to even say out loud, why am I innocently having trouble respecting someone else's boundaries? Why am I on a subtle level, like if this person is saying, hey, I'm working or I need an hour break, it might be subtle, but I might still say something or interject something or like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Let me just ask if they can do this little favor or whatever it is. So I was really aware and I was like, God, why am I doing that? So here's me being incredibly authentic. I have hated on people that are like, I use ChatGPT for therapy. And I'm like, that's stupid. Guess what I did today? I said, now, do I think you should use it for like as your therapist? Absolutely not. But I knew that it could assist me in finding the root cause of what was going on with me. So I said, this is the pattern I'm noticing in me. I'm subtly, innocently pushing boundaries that people are saying to me, hey, this is my boundary. I'm still trying to talk. What could be a root cause of this? It gave me six. I used my own inner wisdom of which one felt strongest. And I was trying to regain connection. There was a part of me when I was little that was like not connected with or attuned to properly. And so if somebody was like, I'm not going to connect with you for 8 hours, little me was like, I got to find a little way in so that I can um, feel connected and attuned to. So I'm sobbing. I'm like, oh my God, because we could easily be in victim and be like, this person's being such an a-hole to me, being irritable. And yeah, they're in a wound. But it's also a little obnoxious. I wasn't 100% respecting the boundaries, and I can see that with like massive self compassion. So, anyway, I came up with a mantra after I saw that, which was um, whenever I'm trying to do that, to calm myself by saying, this is the part of me that's just looking for connection, that feels really disconnected right now.
Mhm.
We'll be back with more in just a moment. But first, we wanted to invite you into something really special. This October, we're hosting a 5-day retreat in Palm Springs, California, called Recharge and Radiate, a Reiki infused desert escape. It's a sacred and playful space to return home to your truth, activate your purpose, and nourish your soul through daily ceremonies, movement, human design, sound healing, Reiki, and so much more, all under the desert sun.
We'll be at the stunning Drift Hotel surrounded by art, community, and magic. If your soul is craving depth, clarity, and soul aligned community, we'd love to have you. Early bird pricing ends July 31st. Learn more and book your spot at the link in our show notes. Now back to the episode.
And it is safe to be in my own energy. It's safe for me to connect with me and be in my own energy right now. Space doesn't mean disconnection. I'm in love. I'm still in love. And I have this specific mantra that's not 100% it, but oh my God, like that's so the self honoring is connecting to myself. The authenticity is connecting to myself. And then I'll be done after this. I know I'm in my awareness right now and I'm sharing it. But I just got off of a podcast interview before this where I was being interviewed and I noticed I was talking fast and I was so afraid to slow down because I was afraid of losing connection with the person. I was like, this shit runs deep. So I was like, Jamer, that silence is okay. Because I was projecting onto her. She was going to think I abandoned her if there was silence and she didn't feel connected to. And I'm like, oh my God, for 41 years of your life, kiddo, you've been trying to make people feel not connected and you're exhausting yourself and you're probably taking on all these energies or whatever. So God bless my back. God bless whatever it is you're going through. And I invite you through the excruciating pain of it all, because I understand how hard it is, that can you invite, what am I not seeing here? How is this helping me? How is this for me? How am I playing a part in this? Where I may be innocently not in my authenticity, dishonoring myself in a trauma response. Because it's not easy. And I'm even intentionally doing it here, taking more breaths or slowing down, but that's the medicine, bringing it into your awareness and then doing the opposite gently of what you've been doing all along. So that's what's coming up for me, Rach.
No big deal, just that. Nothing big.
Ooh. So yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts and what's coming up for you.
Wow. So much. There's so much integration is
Mm,
what I'm feeling, right? That the awareness and then the integration of those parts of you
mm,
that have been acting on such this subconscious level. And this is what has been coming up for me is like I have an awareness. So it's not purely subconscious. I have an awareness that these things are within me, that they exist.
yes.
Um, but right now, I'm opening up more and more space to truly understand them on the level and meet them on the level that they need to be met so that they can be integrated and alchemized. And because they, and it's, there's a part of me that naturally like wants to fight these energies a lot of times, but I know that that's, um, I think there's times to stand really firm in things
Mm,
and be in your own sovereign energy. And there's energies that you should be like, no, this is not mine. But these energies that are deeply rooted on a soul level, on a, from like you said, 41 years, your entire life, this has been with you. They need to be met and they need to be heard and
mm,
they need to be acknowledged. I was recently out of town, out of the country, as you know, and just a lot of stuff came up for me. And there was like this part of me that like nothing was good enough. I was not
mm,
getting what I wanted. And it was just, I was in this funk. And then this other part of me shaming that part, like,
mm,
you're on vacation. Do you know how lucky you are to be here, to
mm,
have the resources to be doing what you're doing? Yet this part of me was coming on so strong that literally nothing was right. And I was like, okay, I need to meet this because I know this part of me has come up before. There are certain things that trigger it.
mm,
And I need to meet this and I need to understand this. And I just need to meet this part of me where it's
mhm,
at. And it was a part of me that my entire life I felt like my needs were never met, but I was shamed for not having for feeling that way.
yeah.
And of course that's a perception. I'm not saying that that was the actual reality, but that was my perception of my needs aren't met and I am being shamed for wanting what I want.
Mm,
So it's almost like the littlest thing. I'm having this beautiful experience, but the anything where my need wasn't what I wasn't. It sounds like, again, this is like the shaming part. You sound like a brat. You're being a
mm,
brat, right? Like you should be grateful for this. But there was that deep inner child wound that just kept rearing her because she was pissed and her needs weren't met and she didn't get what she wanted and she was shamed for that. And now I'm shaming her for
mm,
that and saying, you should be grateful. Why am I feeling this way? And I had to meet that part of me.
mm,
And I had to let her speak and I had to let her feel and I had to acknowledge her because she wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong for feeling how she felt. There was something missing for her,
yeah.
right? And so it was a major healing opportunity. And for whatever reason, it took me going out of the country and to really meet that where to really meet that face to face and go through the process that part of me needed to go
Mhm,
through. So it sounds, I mean, two different experiences that you and I are having, but it sounds very similar with like there's just this integration of these parts of us that, as you said, we could say it's 100% the other person because
mhm,
that's where I started when I was on my trip. It's like, well, this went wrong. So that's not my fault. This went wrong. And this, and I'm like, no, no, no. Wait. Like let's take a look. It honestly happened whenever I got the wrong kind of coffee. And my reaction to the wrong kind of coffee, like internally, was like, whoa, like how dare
throw the
I?
coffee.
But it was like building to that point. And when I got that wrong cup of coffee, my reaction was like, no.
Yeah.
It was just like that tipping point. And that's where I'm like, we need to sit with this because there is something very much making themselves apparent right now.
Yeah.
So as you said, it's easy or a lot of times the initial reaction is it's the outside. And then
Mm.
go into shaming. Why do I have this feeling? It's wrong, it's
Yeah.
bad, how ungrateful am I, the shaming. And
Yeah.
then you meet it, and you meet it where it needs to be met. And so it feels, it's similar energies that both of us are, it seems to be, that we're experiencing.
Yeah. And like it really is becoming aware of the coffee, what's going on with compassion every single
Mm-hmm.
time for all of us. Because it's tender and delicate to look at these things. They've been in the closet for so long to even like, I mean, I would never want my face on a billboard saying, Jamie, she violates your boundaries. And you're driving through LA like, I don't want to be friends with her.
Don't you dare mess up Rachel's milk choice in her coffee, because it's not okay.
That's your billboard. We'll throw
Yes.
coffee at you if you get
Yeah.
the milk wrong. Don't want to be friends with her either. These two are perfect together.
Right? No wonder they have a podcast.
They don't even know its name. Oh man. Yeah, but that's the mastery. That's the
Mm-hmm.
mastery. The mastery is, can I welcome everything that's coming up with gentleness, with unconditional love, with grace? Um, there's a compassion key phrase that's coming up while you're talking that was like, I had a similar experience a long time ago in a compassion key session where it was like little part of me that my needs weren't met. And the healing was something along the lines of, I'm so sorry they couldn't meet you where you needed to be met. And in your dot 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 in your needs. Because then it makes no one wrong. It's like they could not meet me at the level of which my needs needed to be met, which
Mm-hmm.
gives you then permission to have big needs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And even as I say big, it's like I don't want us to even put a label on it because it's just there is no scale of if needs are too big or bougie or whatever the word you used was. It's like that's just what I desire right now. And if you had the ability for people to meet you in all your desires when you were young, you would just not think anything of it. As long as you're not harming somebody, of course you want that thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's, I feel like there can also be a level of shaming around actually saying that. Like, well, what if just to want what you want
Yeah.
and not, but that's not being authentic. Stifling what you want or what you feel your needs are, no matter how big they might appear, which is just a human construct of big
Yeah.
or small. There's a label that we put on that. And honestly, that perception could be different based on your culture, based on your individual perception, your society, like what big or small is. It's all
Mm,
perception.
mm.
And so it's to deny or shame that part of you that has these needs, um, is it's denying that part of you. It's not fully embracing who you are. And so we're
Yeah.
talking about authenticity, and this is all part of it, right? It's acknowledging that part of it. And a lot of times healing does come along with it so that you can get even more clear on who you are, what your needs are, like who
Yeah.
your authentic self is, and then where's that wounded part of yourself, and
Yeah.
meeting it all and integrating it all.
Yeah. And it does, it reveals itself in layers. And this word's coming up everywhere today, but it's courage. It's courage and vulnerability for you then to go, because we get irritated when we're not self-honoring. That feeling of pain and irritation that we project out is like the person I was, in relational dynamic with that was irritated, but they were irritated because they weren't honoring their boundaries, you know?
Mhm, mhm,
Um, was I just going to say about the irritation? Oh, it's that unapologetic self permission to say, when I am in full ownership of these are my needs, these are my desires, then the irritation goes away. So it looks like it's out there, but it's like, hey, I give myself permission to ask for coffee 6 times until I get it the way that I want to have it,
Mhm.
you know?
I
Yeah.
think that's a good point because I don't know, you'll have to let me know if you had this experience, but I know when I was younger, well, like throughout a lot of my life, but when I was younger, you have very limited control when you're younger over
Mm,
your experiences. And my sense of control would be I would then get irritated,
yeah.
and I've seen that a lot. I've been in relationships um, where my partner would do things and then get that he didn't want to do and then get irritated at me. And I'd be like, why are you mad at, like, I didn't understand it. But it's, again, that's the wounding coming out. That's that
Yeah.
childhood wounding of, well, I feel like I have to do this, so
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. And then my sense of control is to be irritated about
Yeah.
it.
The obligation
Mm-hmm.
piece. And specifically to human design, us as generators, like we are here to follow our joy. And if we are living in obligation, for us, it disconnects us from our truth.
Mm-hmm.
And we're taught in society, if you're a human design generator, like you have to do this thing you're supposed to do. And then it just drains us and dims our light, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So it really is that unwiring of can I trust that when I am honoring myself, uh, connection's still there, love is still there, safety is still there, resource is still there,
Mm-hmm.
opportunity is still there.
Yeah. And it takes a lot of courage because you don't know until you are that authentic self,
That,
right? So you have to take the leap to be your authentic self and then see. I know that when we were very briefly tuning in before this episode, because we just kind of wanted to hop on and have it be the most authentic flow, um, we talked about what our fears were
mm,
if we showed up authentically, truly authentically, and mine was rejection.
mm,
So it's, and we can shift our perception, and our perception molds reality. We can shift the perception that I can be authentic and be accepted.
yeah,
And it also then takes that leap of faith to put that into action and risk that maybe some people won't vibe with it, but maybe a lot
mm,
more will, that would be more in alignment. Or people that you thought would reject you, maybe your authenticity opens up something with them and it brings you even closer, but you don't know until you take the leap to embody it.
that's it. And that's where like my greatest joy and freedom and liberation has come from is when I like really put it out there and rebel or whatever. And it's like lovingly rebel and take one of those self-honoring acts and authenticity acts. And I wrote an Instagram post a couple weeks ago that was really authentic. And I could feel it when I wrote it, and there were cuss words and music and like, ooh, like so out of the box. Um, and instead of it being that, I remember my Reiki master said this to me, I don't know, 10 years ago, 11 years ago. She's like, Jamie, you always try to avoid the blade. Like you always try to like go to the left or the right. And I'm like, no, there's no truth to that. Because, with the codependency and the people pleasing, we want to like make sure we're liked and palatable and it keeps us safe.
Mhm.
But when we really go, I'm going to own my weird, or I'm going to own my authenticity, or I'm going to own my truth, or when, and I'm going to do it and I'm not hurting anybody, not hurting
Mhm.
anybody. I can be real with myself to go, am I doing something wrong right now? Like hurtful or mean or no. Um, I had people that were like, whoa, I'm obsessed with you. This is amazing. Oh my God, you spoke to my heart. And it's that feedback for me to go, there you go, girl.
Ugh, Uh-huh.
That. And that's the scariest, edgiest thing. Because that's where our little inner child goes, you're crazy. And there were some people that said to me, out of love, because the word came from the depths of my soul, mother effer. And I put emojis because I was like, all right, mother effers, whatever. And so someone said, are you really going to call your community mother effers? And I said, yes, because it is coming from such a place of play and flirt and love that if
Mhm.
that person that is on the other side of that rejects me or abandons me or my fear, right? Disconnects from me, that is not my person. Like I can't.
Mhm.
And I think I really, really saw and then a mutual friend of ours was like, I was so inspired by that post. It's like they could feel the energy medicine in it. And I was like, wow. Because I stopped teetering on that, like, let me be palatable and please everybody bullshit. It was just like, I'm going to try. Um, and always an advocate for slow and steady and safe because we
Mhm.
don't want to blow our nervous systems out. So share a post with a friend. Hey, I'm thinking about posting this on Instagram. Can I just share it with you to like have it seen by someone else's eyes? Um, or whatever it is, because it feels like life and death inside of us sometimes.
Mhm. Yeah, there was a couple times today, like the last couple days, where I had to really ask myself, what am I ready for?
Mm,
I know that I am really being called to step into the most authentic version of me in all situations. Um, but there was a couple situations where I just didn't feel quite ready, and it felt more self-honoring
yeah.
not to push myself to that point. But
There
it
you
was a
go.
very conscious decision. It wasn't unconscious. It was, what am I ready for in this situation? Okay, this is what I'm ready for. And that's most authentic to me in this stage of my evolution. So yeah, I love that. Like, yes, it's like you said, you can't blow your nervous system out of whack. And it's also not self-honoring or the most authentic for you in that moment if you're doing something that you're truly just not ready for. It doesn't mean you'll never be ready for it. It
Yeah.
just means that in this moment, it's most authentic and self-honoring to do what it is that you are ready for, what's gentle on you.
Baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
Baby steps. And I'm thinking of at a restaurant when they do those deconstructed meals, like deconstructing how we go backwards. Um, at first, just let these things come into your awareness without needing to do anything about it. Like when we've endured trauma, just getting to know that this part exists, journaling
Mm-hmm.
about it, becoming aware of it without even needing, I've been on this journey. We've been on this journey a long time, which is why I had the courage to go, okay, I need to have a conversation about this. I need to look, I'm going to do things differently. But at first, just like befriending these parts and going, you can talk to me. We don't have to take any action. We don't need to heal this.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
like, step one, and that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there was something that I like came up when you were speaking, and now it's gone. It'll circle back if it's meant to hmm, if it's meant to be here. Oh, this is what I was going to say. I feel like both of us in this conversation have been honest and vulnerable, and you with your post on Instagram,
Mm.
honest and vulnerable. And not only do we have the past trauma of rejection or loss of connection or however that played out, um, now we have the fear of you're putting your soul out to a whole community that
Mm.
can like interpret it however they feel, and that's a very vulnerable, and it doesn't always feel safe to be truly authentic, at
Mm.
least in my perspective, to be truly authentic whenever I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm putting this goes out online. Anybody can listen to this. It's
Mm.
protected with love and light. And this is a
Mhm.
safe community, but there's also that element to it. So we have the past trauma, but then we have the element of like, we're putting it out there for all. You
Yep.
know, I know you. I know, like, if you were calling me a motherfucker, then I wouldn't be. I'd be like, that's just Jamie.
Oh
I would take no
God.
offense to it. That's why I love you.
Yeah, yeah. That's just if you know me, you'll probably get a name like that at some point. It's endearing. Yeah.
It's endearing. But to be like somebody that's just clicking on this the first time, our intention is everybody. This
Yeah.
awakens whatever needs to be awakened in anybody who's listening to it. And it's also acknowledging that that's a vulnerable place to be when you are being vulnerable and open with people that are outside of maybe your closest circle of
Yeah.
friends.
How exhausting though, to try to make sure, because you cannot, it is not
Mhm.
physically possible to go, all right, I'm gonna get all these people's acceptance and all these people's approval and all these people's connection. Like at the end of the day, you have got to just go, I'm gonna do what feels authentic and honoring to me and know that I am doing it from love and an intention of goodness and expansion and then I release the attachment to the outcome of that, because and this keeps coming in as we're talking, that Marianne Williamson quote or saying about, if you're not, maybe you know this one better than I do, but if you're not making waves or you're not pissing people off, you're not like sharing your truth right or well enough, something like that, that like, because you really are going to be, you don't have to be deeply polarizing. I remember a coach said that to me. He's like, there are some people that are out there talking about some real wild stuff that are going to be deeply polarizing, and they're going to have these people that are going to be like against them and whatever. And he's like, you're not that. Like in your most polarizing conversation, Jamie, you just have an energy that is palatable. Um, but it's like, yeah, just to know, wow, okay, I'm doing something right. When I am in my truth, there are going to be people that feel offended or whatever. And, the medicine that's coming back at the end of the conversation, or at the end of the day with this conversation, the medicine that's coming back to me really is self-love.
Mhm.
You know, like, okay, James, I'm gonna honor you and we're gonna be authentic and I'm gonna stay connected to you always and forever in your authenticity, and Rach, like, I'm going to ask for the coffee I want. And I'm going to be fully authentic and I'm going to expand who I am. And at the end of the day, Rach, I'm going to approve of you, kiddo, and accept you in all of it, and all your desires and needs and out there-ness and whatever. Authenticity. It's 222 my time, as we say that,
Oh,
which is
wow.
don't worry.
Oh, I love and balance. And I always see it like that integration that we're talking about, the two
Mm,
parts coming together. Oh, that's perfect.
yes. Yeah. So whatever it is for you, Rach and I bring this up a lot in our workshops, but like what your fear is about, like take a moment to journal after this. Like, why am I afraid to be authentic? Why am I afraid to self-honor? And
Mhm.
sometimes your body will show you, and sometimes your trips out of town will show you, if you can't figure it out in your journal. Um, and then give yourself that in your head, embodied, mentally, whatever it is, like, I'm here. Even during this conversation, I've noticed myself try to speed up, and I have said in my own head, this is what I said to Rachel in the beginning. This is the part of you that's afraid of losing connection, James. Like, I've said this
Mhm.
in my head in real time. It's safe to just be in your own energy right now. Right. And then I
Mhm.
slow myself down. So I'm just sharing with you guys, that's what real time self love looks like, like,
Mhm.
and then because we're in a quantum field, life will reflect that back. I'm going to meet people like Rachel and all my other beautiful friends and you guys and soul sisters and brothers that are like, I'm still here. I'm still here in your wildness, James. I might not speak to you for a while, or there might be spaciousness, or we might talk all the time, but we're energetically connected in love.
Mhm.
And I'll see more proof of that as I continue to give love to myself. That to me is the most empowering thing ever.
Mhm.
Because when we do grow up in victim energy, which is very real, and when we don't have control when we're little, to realize, oh my God, I have control, holding that word loosely, please, but I have control when I love myself to heal my life and to have a reflection. Like I can do this for myself, 1,000%. You're safe again there, you
Mhm.
know?
And how you mentioned you had an affirmation that you were saying during this conversation, real
Yeah.
time. I have said multiple times to myself during this conversation, I am safe. I
Oh
am
my
safe
God.
to say this. So that
That's
is, it's,
sweet.
uh-huh.
We're like, I'm not listening to you. We're not listening to each other at all.
We're just affirming in our brain.
We're talking to ourselves. We don't know the name of the podcast. All y'all are mother effers, but it's going to be a good day.
It's good. We are safe. We love ourselves. So.
That song's the best. I don't know if you know. It's going to be a good day. Good
Mm-hmm.
day. It's going to be a day. If you guys get a chance, pop that one on. Oh, but
uh,
that's beautiful. And it does, it lets you be yourself. Lets more of
mm-hmm.
you come out. And our nervous system, after we get off this call, we're going to be like, hey, we didn't die. Other people wrote in on the podcast show notes. Me too. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. And then you realize, wow, I can be like that too.
Yeah. And it's even, if you're listening to
Mm.
this and you don't 100% relate with our specific examples, it's just that permission giving to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Who am I? And like really having that inquiry of whatever it may be, because we're all a lot of our human experiences are similar in that we experience fear and probably self-judgment and criticism, and there's that, but then our makeup is so like if I think about, because I know before we hopped on here, I was talking about how I've really been, my guidance has been to honor my North Node, to really,
Mm.
really honor my North Node. And for anybody who doesn't know, North Node in astrology is kind of your destiny path, what you came here to master. Your South Node is what you're already good at because you already accomplished it in past lifetimes. So I could be sitting with somebody and we have two opposite north nodes. So, like, what I am actually meant to embody would be kind of the opposite of what they're meant to embody. So,
Mm.
it's not saying like my way is the best way, your way is the
Mm.
best way, but it's saying, okay, but what is my way?
Mm.
Like, instead of tuning to the outside to try and figure out your best way, like, it's tuning more and more into yourself, like, well, what is true? What is true for me? And I
Mm.
think that's why astrology, human design, those kind of aspects can be so helpful, because it gives us permission. They're just permission givers for us to be more and more ourselves, even if in the past we were told that was wrong for whatever reason.
Amen.
Amen.
And it's so
Mm.
unique and custom tailored too. Like we are meant to be different. I think it's um, that beautiful conundrum of I'm one and I'm an individuation of the divine. And can I let that be okay? And part of this beautiful, wild remembering that we're doing down here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like in future episodes we could get more into like astrological. I know the human design. We could have a lot of fun with that. Just
Yes.
more of that permission giving of like, who am I? Like, how do I respond to life? That just seems fun.
Yes, I would love to dig into that. Yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments too. But yeah, I know for me personally, aligning with my human design has also been a huge self-honoring and authenticity permission giver because you're like, whoa, this is who I am. I can do this more. I can follow my joy. That's a thing. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Does this feel complete?
Yes, feels good. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yes. Yeah, stay tuned for more goodness. And yeah, let us know what your experience has been. If you want to share, and let us know what topics that you would like for us to talk about, or if anything that we talked about in this conversation stuck out, you want us to dive more into. I know you talked about the compassion key, James. I think
Yeah.
that would be an interesting to delve into sometime. So
Yeah.
yeah.
North Node, all the little things that came in. Yeah.
Yes, all the little golden nuggets.
Yeah, totally. So we're sending you guys all our love, and share this with a friend in need. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Talk to you next time. So much love.
Thank you for joining us on The Remembering.
If you loved this episode, share it with the soul you love, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the magic.
Until next time, trust the unseen and remember who you are.